Welcome to session 5 of the Imris Saga. Uh, really brief recap of last session. The party continued their travel down the maze, ran into some vegapygmies, these little mushroom men creatures who spoke in a gobbledygook language that no one could understand. After some initial seemingly hostilities, the party was able to, um, mainly thanks to Will, play some music and sort of um, hyper them away, eventually going to their village where they had a brief um, pantomime conversation with their leader, the leader of the Vegapygmies, who warned them about imps and other such creatures in the maze going after the dragon. They gave you guys a potion of cure poison and disease. Continued on, eventually finding a well puzzle that contained a dagger in it. And after some shenanigans, you guys were able to retrieve the dagger successfully. Eventually, you came up to a what seems to be the end of the maze, where there were several waterfalls around a pond, and you saw a dead hydra sitting there, kind of bleeding out still. After exploring the shoreline initially for a little bit, you were attacked by this draconic demonic creature, which summoned darkness and nearly took out Sulveran in one round. But you eventually, the numbers won out. You were able to overwhelm them despite their clear advantage in the darkness. You stilled yourself. You found another entrance into the deepest part of the lair, seemingly behind one of the waterfalls, and entered. Wherein, after some scouting, you discovered some ritual going on where the Emerald Dragon is trapped in this magical bubble, and this greater demon is kind of chanting, doing something in there. They seem to be locked in some kind of mind battle with the rest of the demons' minions all around them. That is basically where we ended. I'm going to swap over to battle map. I know you guys have been thinking of various plans and stuff in the break, so I guess I'm just going to open the floor to you guys. What is the plan? Who wants to initiate combat, so to speak,
Oh,
and how?
Yeah, I didn't consider, but we could definitely just maybe get within 120 feet to start.
that would be
Yeah.
nice. We could try it. Alternatively, I can use first turn to hit something within 120 feet, and then on the next turn, just move that moonbeam.
So, Andrew, we can basically see the rough layout of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. Then, firstly, I think we'll suggest perhaps we should move to the other side where the stairs aren't quite so broken.
I can get to it regardless of theirs. Do you want me to draw the other half's attention?
Yeah, I put your tokens, just so we're clear, I put your tokens here on the map, but you could start on either side if you want to, however you guys want to do that.
I still think it's probably for the best if we stay together, but either way, we should. I'm going over here, and we'll like to start heading to the other side because having to make that jump in the middle of a fight feels unnecessarily additionally difficult.
Yeah, I should mention, Medea does have giant vulture wings at the moment.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
What does it even look like to us when you like do this?
Oh, I didn't realize you hit. Oh, yeah, that's right. You did say at the end you wanted to activate it before the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that
Yeah,
look like? That's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's more just like Medea sees something high up and then looks to Sulveran and says, "Well, I don't like stairs very much. This seems to be the appropriate moment." And they take a second as it looks like threads of hair begin to spin out the back of the armor and begin to coil and spool into feathers before finally coming together and suddenly straining and popping into existence two giant pairs of vulture wings.
Sulveran is just going to blink very slowly. And then he's going to turn to Will and Uba. When I met them, they told me they were not a symbol sent straight from Mordain. And yet, he points at the carrion bird wings, and he looks down at his little the alpenstock he carries that has the stylized vulture-like face, and looks back at Medea, and then turns towards the demons and says, "Well, if no one is opposed," and he's raising his hand. Is everybody where they want to be to start with?
Can I get any closer, Andrew?
Not before we would roll and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like the extent.
I
don't know, where do you want Pelagon? He's happy to go.
If Medea is hell-bent on fighting one entire side of this fight alone, then we should send Pelagon that side.
Okay, Pelagon will also be up.
I would like to make 7 different checks on Medea about what that just was.
Okay, make I think Arcana is appropriate.
I want to make Arcana, religion, and also nature, but I'll just make Arcana.
Go ahead.
I think Arcana, would be the major one.
Ugh.
Andrew, do I get to determine what he was?
What's that? What did you say, Sarah? Sorry, I couldn't.
Is this like an insight thing where I get to tell him how much he knows from it?
No, because this is just like a fact thing, I think.
Okay.
So I think the first one this Arcana check isn't too terribly difficult. There's not that many humanoid creatures that can spout wings. It doesn't seem to be a spell to you. They didn't seem to cast it, and it's not really in their wheelhouse. So you would imagine you've heard of people like this, people touched with celestial blood. They can oftentimes spout wings. They have easier time accessing the divine, which certainly is true in Medea's case. So with that information, a 13 will tell you that they appear to be a Celesteri, sort of angel is probably the wrong word, but humanoid celestial hybrid. It might mean that one of their immediate parents might be celestials, or somewhere back in their bloodline.
Okay, I'm not going to make the other rolls now. I'll make them later, but Will is immediately processing that information just because I think we've been building this whole week up to this fight. If I slow it down with a bunch of rolls at the start, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so is?
Can we?
Can you what? Sorry, go ahead.
Can we just move up 10 feet to be in line with Medea? Is that fine?
That's fine. Yeah, that is where the extent of you can go.
I think that's a really relevant 10 feet. If my math works out, I think it means that maybe that makes Sulveran able to reach.
Let me see.
Probably not from that side.
Well, my mouse is having issues with the trailing, and
it keeps wanting to rotate my token.
I'm having a little bit of a navigation
45
problem.
from
it's
you
not.
You'd move in cast.
You have 30 feet of movement.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess our plan is that Sulveran just tries to cast at the thing, and if first time it fails that check, and we might not even have to fight anything.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Are you gonna? Did you still want to cast Bane? What's your distance on Bane, or whatever it was?
30 feet.
30 feet.
Bane is 30.
Okay. So Sulveran is he is looking at the start of this, he was originally looking towards Medea for guidance, but as soon as Medea kind of like took their own side, he just instead turned to Will, and he's just watching Will silent.
I think Will says, you know, I really trust in your god, but I trust in you a little bit more even. So just cast your spell.
He's going to chuckle.
I give you bardic inspiration.
Okay. So
Yeah.
as she says that, he kind of not actually, my god, I call on today. And he is going to stalk forward.
Sorry.
Hey, you're alone. Sorry, what's that?
Once somebody moves past this sort of barrier, that's where we're going to roll initiative.
The wall?
Yep. The invisible
Okay.
wall.
Yeah.
Basically,
not trying to-
you've moved into their field of view enough at this point.
Okay. Yeah, so he is going to stalk forward and without pausing. Oh my goodness. Can somebody move my token to within 120? Or God. I'm gonna reload for Foundry, 1 sec.
That's the max you can move, I believe.
Oh wow, I got an okay initiative.
Wow, I got a terrible initiative with my +3.
I stole your initiative.
I've never gotten above 10, and I have +3.
Well, if Sulveran's
Jesus.
setting off combat, before he steps out, he reaches out and
So many dice on the screen.
he says to Will, if you trust my god that much, and he presses his thumb to Will's forehead, giving his vigilant blessing, since he's triggering this apparently.
Get to roll again. Fancy.
Oh,
Yeah.
the imps are all going at different times.
All right, Sulveran, I need you to roll as well.
That is a lot of imps.
I told you guys, there's 8 of them.
I can go and just change Will's roll by clicking it right.
I don't know if you guys can do
No,
that. I know I can.
I took.
Okay. What was
So-
your actual roll?
It won't let me roll it from the sheets. I'm just going to do 20.
Those imps got fantastic initial rolls.
Can I double check on how you're starting this out then? Is he able to just like stomp out and cast a spell? Am I initiating combat, or am I?
You're initiating
walking
combat
in?
once you move out, and you will get the spell off as well.
Okay.
Sulveran's god increased my
Which is,
initiative by
it's good that you get the spell first, since you just rolled a 1.
Yes.
Oh,
This
is
is why I
Moonbeam
checked,
an
because
attack?
this always happens to me.
Is Moonbeam a
We-
spell attack?
I don't think it's a spell.
No,
attack.
it just
It's,
happens.
It's a
They
start
rolled
of their turn.
they rolled a 1 on initiative.
Okay.
But
Go with
fortunately,
God.
Moonbeam doesn't care about their turn. It only cares about the enemy turn.
It's true.
Did you give yourself
Um,
advantage on that?
No,
Oh,
because
you did.
started it differently. Will got advantage.
Yeah, because I was gonna go stalk out and just cast the
Right.
spell.
Go ahead and click on Moonbeam, and it should give you
I-
a template.
Yeah, we're having some.
Okay, I can do it for you if you want. I don't think I know.
Please
where you
do.
want it.
Please do. I'm gonna completely close out all Chrome and come
It's
back in.
Moonbeam. Is that a second level spell?
Oh, that might be what it is. Have other stuff open.
All my.
Ah, this one. Oh, I mean, Moonbeam's smaller than I thought. You just want to set it on the big demon, right?
Yeah, it is a 5-foot. Yeah, it is much smaller than it sounds.
It exactly encompasses all of their tiles.
Ah, so it has to roll 4 times, right?
It has to roll.
What if it was just a shapeshifter?
That would be fun.
What if this was actually Alveron?
All right. Once Sulveran moves forward, running up, casting a spell. You are all getting ready to charge in as this happens. But as soon as they see this like running motion, all of the imps and other demons start to swarm. So, 40.
Yeah. And as Sulveran stalks off, he is muttering in Gathite to himself.
All right, this blood imp is going to attempt to spew blood at you. I think a 14 misses.
Yeah,
yours
14
is
does
much better.
miss.
It glances off of your, it does splash onto you, but your armor just absorbs all of the would-be damage, and it is ineffective. This guy. This one's just going to charge. Spending his whole turn on movement.
Very
Seems like
unsettling not being able to see any of what's going on.
Well, look, a blood imp attacked you from quite a distance. So,
Yeah, it should have had disadvantage. I just forgot about that. It
Okay.
missed anyways, but
I was gonna say, if
Yeah,
these
that-
things
that
have
was-
that
it's
range, that
extreme
is
range.
terrifying.
that was literally the farthest they could still shoot. Okay, this one's going to move out, and also attack Sulveran. I will remember the disadvantage this time. Missing twice.
Oh, and they have 2 attacks. Christ.
Blood imp.
Ugh.
There. Missing. Disadvantage, man.
We're going to be hearing that a lot.
Well, let's hope so.
This one's just going to move. Yeah, move. It'll just stand next to the. And then Uba, it is now your turn. Although everything is far away from you. Your movement speed is 25. So you do have a bow.
Am I the only one who can't hear Marisa?
No, I just assumed they weren't saying anything.
You hear me now?
No,
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
I thought you
can
were.
hear you.
Okay.
I thought you were just thinking about your move or something.
No. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I did have a plan. I'm gonna hit the one that's directly in front of Uba, 70 feet ahead. I'll put Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay.
First, and then.
Oh, okay. Bonus action to move Hunter's Mark since you still have been concentrating.
Yeah. So let me use this longbow here.
19. Yeah, that hits for 9 points of
Right.
damage.
And
a 6, right?
did it add the d6? Yeah.
Oh, plus
Yep,
yeah. Roll
plus
another
the
d6
D6.
for Hunter's Mark.
Gotcha.
I have to remember to make a thing for you. Oh, that kills it.
Hooray!
You all
Yeah.
see from or probably Sulveran from over your head. You hear an arrow, and just catches one of these imps in the throat that falls to the ground in a splatter. You still have your
Will,
movement if you would like.
I'll just move like right up next to Sulveran. I think that would be. Let me see how far that is.
You can get
No, not
almost to
quite.
there.
Like right behind them. So right there. And then I'm done.
Kind of like feeling somebody move close behind him, Sulveran just kind of like shifts to present as much of himself as possible for Uba to hide behind.
He's also going to just move up. This side they can't really get close to. I was going to fly over there. And hit Uba. No disadvantage. Hitting. So you take 4 points of damage, and I need you to make a con save. Uba.
Ouch. Okay. Con save.
Ooh.
15. That's a success. So you
Okay,
feel
so I
you feel the poison damage your body as it's like vitrolic blood like splashes against your body, but the poison you are able to resist its effects. So that you do not gain the poisoned condition. Right, the horned devil. Got to make a was it a con save, right? DC 15.
Yes.
The wrong creature. I had selected. Let's
I was excited for
let's
us
do
to go
that
there.
again. Reroll. 16. Okay. Barely succeeds against it, but he does still take some damage, I believe.
2d8 half.
2d10 halved.
If he's a shapeshifter, he would have disadvantage.
Correct. He's not, fortunately.
It's just an important.
So go ahead and roll 2d8.
2d10.
Or 2d10.
2d.
Sarah, you messed me up.
I'd also like to blame Sarah.
God.
Okay. He
It's
takes
supposed
2
to
points of
be
damage.
console.
He doesn't need to make a concentration saving throw.
Well, this is the most important thing.
Yeah.
He actually takes 8 because it's radiant. I know, so raw DMG, most demons and devils aren't vulnerable to radiant damage. I think that's dumb. So most of them are in unless they're really, really powerful.
Well, now I must.
Bless you.
So it just makes sense.
That drives me crazier than
He
anything.
does pass his charisma saving throw. So not charisma, constitution saving throw. So he's still chanting despite the like being engulfed in this moonbeam. It's still like, ha thapata. He goes on. All the other ones still swarming. This one's going out. Shoot at Sulveran this time. Missing just barely. A good AC. And then it's going to be Pelagon's turn. Got 30 feet of movement. 30, he's going to move over to here. Bonus action to rage. And then he's going to chuck a javelin at the chaos. Actually, no, he'll do it at a blood. Wow. Okay. He throws his spear as hard as he can, and it just like his grip is too tight, it shatters as he's like chucking it, and it just bits of
Does that cause him to rage?
Javelin.
He gets that angry.
He gets angry. No, because of the ceremony. I had this whole mechanic where when he raged, there was a chance he would just go blind and attack anybody. But because you sanctuaried him, or not sanctuaried, ceremonied him, that effect is not currently in play.
That was a very good choice.
Medea, it's not your turn.
Medea will. God, I hate when it rotates the token instead of moving it.
I don't know why it does that for you. It's the only person I've ever seen.
Okay. One more square. And then am I in range to? God damn it! I'm
35
literally
anything.
one square away. Yeah, 35 away. Okay, I'm going to, at disadvantage, chuck a javelin at the blood imp that is like in the middle of the pack over there.
On the left
You
side?
can see my cursor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, being able to see cursors on this like is already miles above other virtual
Yeah.
tabletops.
Yeah.
Go ahead, make the attack.
Uh,
22.
oh,
I think you rolled
there's a
with
15.
advantage, so it would be 15, right?
Yeah.
That does still hit though.
It is +4 radiant damage. Is that double on these things too?
Yes, so that'll be +8 for these things. So that's a total of 17, which is another kill.
Yeah.
So
It's-
very
They just fly
similar.
forward.
Sorry, go ahead.
They just fly forward and just hurl this spear directly into the chest of the one.
Yeah,
there.
very similar to how Uba shot them with an arrow. Just like immediately hits the ground, splatter of blood.
And they just pull out another javelin to get ready to do that same thing again. Only 6 of them left now.
Yeah, but at range, that's not where we're meant to be doing our damage to these things.
Yeah. This one's going to, I think, attack Dia twice with their tailspin. Still a disadvantage.
Okay.
Missing. 2 8s. It is then Will's turn. Will, all these demons are now rushing out. Your companion's also rushing forward. What do you do?
Will, knowing that there are spellcasters amongst the demons, doesn't necessarily want to bunch up with the others, so I think we'll move to kind of split this difference between Medea and the others. And then, if I have correctly mathed, we'll cast a spell on the other side. Like, Medea and Will are just trading sides for a second. I'm going to cast Split Hulls. And use the water. Will in this time there's no like verbalization in any language other than the arcane language, but she pulls out of her coat like a piece of broken ship hull and throws it into the air, and as it evaporates into water, the river like explodes upwards and it's just like the spectral side of a ship that blows a cannon blast into hopefully a lot of them.
Was that
I
10
didn't
foot
do the math for this.
radius? So, do you have it set up to output a thing?
Yeah, so it will be those three.
Oh.
Okay, excellent.
It's just this spectral side of a ship that does this enormous cannon blast, but there's no actual blast and it's all sound and concussive.
Yeah, well, they all fail. So
They take 11 thunder damage. I wish I'd rolled better on that, but
yeah, slightly below average.
So you need to do like 15 damage or something.
and Will kind of turns back to Uber and points at Uber and then says, "You could just aim for the big demon's head. If the dragon's free, we'll be fine," and give Bardic Inspiration.
Okay. The two blood imps immediately become bloodied, but they are not quite killed. Their like wings are bent and they're like flapping, trying to stay up. They don't quite fall. The knight does get injured by this, but does not look overly hurt at the moment. However, the two imps are nearly dead that you hit. Not quite fully dead. They're mostly dead.
They're just not dead yet.
All right. The other knight is going to... They're 30 feet. And it's going to cast Ray of Frost. Against Uba. No, actually, I think against Sulveran. They want to break your concept. Well, terrible. That miss is just going wide. That's where Frost crashes down somewhere near you. Final blood in. Going to fly forward.
Two of them are dead on the side of the river we're on, right?
Correct, yes. The one that got hit by Uba and the one got hit by Medea. And then the two on the other side are quite injured but not dead. And then there's two on both sides, 4 total, which have not been hit at all yet.
Yeah.
That one's going to attack via disadvantage. Missing. Right. Sulveran. We are back to you.
All right. Nobody took damage last round, right?
Uba took 4.
Uba took a little bit, but not very much.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. I don't think that triggers Sulveran's desire to help. He just keeps stalking, and as that ray of frost passes by him, he looks at Uba. That was refreshing. And then he leans himself behind this wall,
Okay.
so that he can kind of peek out.
That will give you half cover.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh,
And
that's fair.
he is going to target. Is this one bloodied?
That one's dead.
That one's dead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is this
sorry.
one?
Let me do the. That one's full.
Yeah, there are 2 dead ones.
Okay. So this one's full. Because the first one, it's a little bit dodgy. That one is dexterity saving throw.
Failing.
Yeah, so as he does that, he leans behind and kind of just puts his back to the wall so he can peek out. And then whistles, kind of pointing, drawing his finger down, and the just a spectral bird that looks a little bit like Medea with their vulture wings comes cawing out of the sky.
All right. It slaps this imp across the face. It nearly tumbles down, but manages to right itself. He's looking quite injured.
So he looks like he is also vulnerable to radiant damage.
Yes, as well. We are back. That imp is dead. This knight was going to.
Gonna deny us the Gathite barbarian versus demon fighter.
They have a better
Yeah.
thing they could do.
Wow, what an outrage. That's what the people came to see. That NPC fight this big thing.
Hasn't he earned a nice death?
I mean, it's what I came to see.
I kind of want Pelagon to just slaughter through this whole side. I'm just gonna
I just sort of
break
want
everything down slightly with Shadow. Just let him kill everything.
to watch him Terminator his way through.
This one begins chanting and is going to summon a wall of ice. Not the spell. Just in case somebody was like, wall of ice, 6th level spell. No, but it is a wall of ice.
It's gonna be like, fuck Andrew.
That would just kill you, I think.
This demon power word kills Pelagon.
This demon twin cast power word kill.
As a flex, it just kills a blood imp with the second one. Just unnecessarily kills a blood imp.
Okay. So, in front of the majority of the party, a 10-foot wall, 10-foot high, 5-foot thick wall of ice appears, just erupting out of the ground. It blocks line of sight, movement, etc. Most of you are cut off. You can't see any of the enemies on the other side. Sulveran, you still can see most of them by like peeking over. But Medea and Will, you are kind of cut off. Your line of sight is. It's also going to it is going to move in to engage with Pelagon, but it's not back this turn because it's already done it. We then have this one's going to fly. It flies up so they can peer over the wall.
How tall is the wall?
It's 10 feet up.
How tall is the wall in front of Sulveran?
That's only about 4 feet or so. Like, 3.5 to 4 feet. Easily you could vault over it. Here. It's going to take Sulveran twice. So you have, I believe, now I'm forgetting.
You said
Plus
half
2 to
cover?
your AC, I think. Yeah.
I think it's +2 for half cover. Is this
Yes, plus 2 to your AC.
So it's visible over the top of the wall?
It is visible over the top of the wall, yes.
Okay.
So it's an effective AC of 20 for Sulveran?
Correct, yeah.
That's why I like half cover.
Well,
Ooh.
it still crits you. So the first one, glances against the wall as you kind of duck out of the way. The second one, however, kind of launches upwards and it falls down on you, dealing a total of 9 points of damage, 6 points of piercing, and the tail spines are hot, white hot as it slices through you. Do you need you to make me a concentration check?
All right. Checking rules on Bardic Inspiration. I can roll my d20 first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your current bonus? It's a D6 to save.
I mean, not my d20 for the but yeah. So that
It's a Constitution save, by the way. But
so it's +2, so it's 18.
You succeed by way more than enough.
Thank God.
Gritting through the pain,
Yeah.
it manages to keep concentration on the spell.
Sulveran just looks at this imp for a moment and then just turns back to staring down the big thing.
All right, this
Pulling a
blood
spined
imp.
devil and imp is the truest
Yeah, I
vicious
know, right?
mockery.
He is
Not
going
use
to
vicious
go
mockery
back
in this
around
fight, 'cause
this
that's the
way.
best one.
So you're not benefiting from cover from this one, and it's going to actually going to get up in your face and attempt to sting you with its wicked scorpion-like tail. But you just bat it away, unable to get through your defenses.
Stupid spined devil, says Sulveran.
Stupid, much smaller imp.
Do you think these imps are gonna get like a
It's going
pay
to go up
cut
to
for how they
Medea
performed in this
and
battle?
also try to sting you. Hitting, although only dealing.
I will cutting words.
Okay.
That one. And just shout out. There's not hang on. There's not an insult bad enough to say to you other than call you and it will do. I think that should roll. Who knows? I don't use cutting words very often. Let me.
What
click
did she
this.
call him? An imp? You cut out.
No, I'm just saying that his existence is the worst thing, like the worst insult. No.
Oh.
All right, so that does still hit. Or were you doing the damage or the? I assume the attack.
The attack. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does still hit. So Medea, you do take 4 points of damage.
Oh no, I take
Oh, I
one
thought that was an
point
attack against
damage.
Sulveran, by the way. I would not have
Oh.
done that against Medea.
Well, okay, that's fine.
No.
It still hits.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't want the concentration check. That was the problem.
No, that makes sense. It is then Uba's turn. Uba, this wall of ice is blocking your movement straight ahead, but there are some enemies around you at this point.
Yeah, Uba is cursing extremely loudly at the fact that this wall that is, I guess, 5 times taller than they
Yeah,
are just popped up.
You could try to climb over it. It would be an athletics check.
Is the space to the left of the wall that
Actually, you don't have
Sulveran's
enough
behind...
movement to climb over it.
Oh. Is the space to the left of the wall that Sulveran is behind, is that trees, or can I
Yeah,
stand
it is.
there?
It is trees, but it is traversable. You can move underneath those trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this wall hasn't like completely shut off this side. It's just made movement through a little bit harder. You have to go around.
Got it. Okay, so if that's the case, Uba is going to move, yeah, next to this wall, right here, and I guess this imp is, yeah, this imp is right next to them. Okay, they're just gonna stab out with their dagger at the imp that's right next to.
Okay.
Do you want to
Sulveran.
move your hunter's mark? Because remember the bonus action. It's that other one's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Hunter's Mark first, and then we'll try and use that the emerald dagger that they got from the fountain.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack.
Okay, so then would that also, I need to roll the d6 for the Hunter's Mark, right?
Correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You roll like crazy.
Uber's Hunter's Mark is the best version of Hunter's Mark that's ever existed.
Yeah, it's
Their
Hunter's
shiny
Mark.
gold Hunter's Mark. Yeah. So they're gonna
Uber in the anime has just unveiled Perfect Hunter's Mark that they've spent 4 levels working on.
Okay. You stab it like as it's tingling with Sulveran, and it just dies around your blade. All right.
It
Neat.
was really close to killing those imps.
We just got to keep cutting them down.
I've made you a toggleable effect real quick that will do Hunter's Mark damage.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
We'll see if it works. I might have done something wrong. I did that very hastily. Right, this one's going to fly out to attack Pelagon. Missing. Just bats it away. Getting ready to kill that thing. This one's going to fly Dia as well. It now has advantage. 17, still missing you. I think, right? Your armor's, 18.
Yeah. I'm so glad I equipped my shield.
This one's also going to fly up to the top to Sulveran. Just barely missing. Managed to get your shield up at the last moment. to bat it away. Get back to the Horned Devil, who make a Constitution saving throw, succeeding, but they'll take another 2d10 points of damage.
Yes.
Just roll 20, and then it takes 40, so it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
it's still 20. I mean, I guess that's
9. Okay, so 18.
18, then 9.
Yeah,
It
so
will
it's
make
effectively
a
just
con
double
save against
8.
10 still.
Con
see.
save against my whatever mine is.
It's for its concentration check.
It's damage.
It's against half the damage or 10, whichever is higher.
Okay.
So it still succeeds. It's still still chanting. Instead, Pelagon is going to go. He's going to bring out the great axe now. Going to take a swing at this imp, hitting it just barely and killing it. He just cuts through it in half. He will then take another swipe at the knight standing next to him. Also hitting. Actually should be 8 points of damage. He slams into the armor. Alright, it's then Medea's turn.
He is going to take their spear and just attempt to stab the one in front of them.
That
And
hits.
it's going to be 15. So,
Right.
because of the double.
That is just enough to kill.
Then they will bring the back end of the spear on the one next.
That also
That's
hits.
going to be
Also a kill,
14
because that one was already
points of
wounded.
damage. And he is going to
Stab
take their 30
forward.
feet of move.
Piercing through the one, hitting the other one with the haft, and then you're going to move.
They just cut through more and keep moving up, attempting to draw attention.
Okay.
I can move 10 feet more. Cool.
How are you trying to draw attention? Just by moving?
Yeah, just by being in front of the wall and
Okay.
being a general. Oh, I also get my 10 hit points back at the start of my turn.
From heroism?
Yes.
My devil's going to move over slightly. Be right here, and then make some tail spine attacks against. So the first one hits, the second one misses. You take 10 points of damage, half piercing, half fire, as one of the hot white spines just pierces in, getting past your armor, striking you in the thigh somewhere.
I maintain concentration on heroism.
Right. Will, it is then your turn. So there's one imp that you can see at the moment. And you can see the flying
spined devil that...
Yeah, spine devil.
I look up at that spined, and I point up my hand at you there. Do everything you can to kill the horned devil, and I'll cast Captain's Voice.
Okay.
So, why did it not use? Oh, I had 3 spell slots. It's a wisdom save. Unless it is immune to being charmed, which I should have potentially...
It's not, however, it does succeed.
Jesus.
Just barely. So it hears you and it's like...
Could you cutting words it as a reaction?
It's not saving checks for cutting words.
Oh.
It's only attack rolls, ability checks, or damage rolls. So no. How irritating. I'm...
Make a religion check first, actually, before before you do this.
Yeah.
I know we've already done the rolls, but I'm just rereading this, and that's a thing that Will might know that Jack might not realize.
Well, religion.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. It probably can't understand you anyways. It probably only speaks demonic.
Oh,
So I'll let you do something else if you would like.
okay.
Usually only
appreciate that.
like greater demons. I think that's like not that common, or fairly common knowledge. Usually only greater demons are capable of like speaking multiple languages, especially like the common tongue.
Okay. Hmm. In that case, I guess. Will's 5'9",
Mhm.
and I can jump according to the rules of D&D that I looked up. 3 plus my strength modifier off the ground. So 1 foot off the ground. So that means I cannot attempt to jump up this wall, right?
No, not in the
I can
jump.
jump-
You could try to climb it with an athletics check, but you cannot leap over it, unfortunately.
Alright, so it's 10 feet up, so I need 20 feet to get up it, right?
We need to get Will a pair of Jordans.
Yeah, so you could get to
Really?
the top on your turn with a successful athletics check.
Alright, I guess I'll try and do that because I just need to be able to see more than that thing.
Okay.
I appreciate you letting me make a religion check because I did not even think about that. Alright,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm proficient in athletics. This will be fine.
It will be
16.
fine.
Plus 0. That's enough, actually. The ice is not super slick. It's like freshly come up and made, so you're able to like pull your hands into whatever craggle holds you can get, because it's not perfectly smooth either, and end up at the top of it at the start of your turn. It's a little slippery up at the top, but you're standing firm. You're used to unbalanced
Yeah, I mean,
situations.
alright, then I will cast man, I still can't reach this thing. Pretty annoying. I'll instead cast on the same spined devil that I have decided I don't like. Discordant Dysrhythmia.
Okay.
You can use the same wisdom save and just succeed if you like.
Okay,
I
that's
think
fine.
that's fair.
We'll do.
How tall are these horned devils? Spine devils?
You have to look that up. They're not like super tall. I would say not more than 6 feet for sure.
It takes 4 psychic damage.
I'm gonna say they're
Oh,
like
6
5 feet. Plus, with like from tail to tip of the head, it would probably be like 7 feet. But just like standing upright on their legs, it's like 5 feet. All right, so it takes
And that kills it.
no,
These have 4
it
HP.
hisses at you with a teeth full of sharp razor pointed ends.
I like the idea that Will like played through both scenarios of casting Captain's voice and being like, no, it can't work. It can't do this. Like this doesn't work. And then did this thing, and it still didn't work, but like it was slightly better.
The knight is going to move over to where Uba is. They are going to attack you with this great sword that they have. So they're gonna make 2 attacks.
Getting closer to Uba is always the wrong.
Both of them hitting.
Oh. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, both of them hitting. So a total 33.
Well, there go all my hit points.
Oh, are you down?
I had exactly 33.
Did
So.
you add the max increase?
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would have been down.
Okay.
Well, I still would have been down, but
Because you only
I
took
can't remember.
4.
I had 37.
Okay. Got it.
That's not good.
Make a note that I now know, as Will, that you guys died at 33 hit points for cutting.
Yes, it's obviously massive damage. Uva dies instantly.
No, it's just enough to bring you down this turn. So the knight walks forward, pulling out. You can see that the sword has like a cold sheen to it, and as it takes 2 swings, both of these were really strong hits. It hits you dead on twice, and the sword attacks alone probably wouldn't bring you down, but the sword seeps ice into your veins as you like feel your body stiffen, and you
Ow.
fade out into unconscious. Blood Imp is going to over. Yep. Take a stick. Let's see. Sulveran, Uba has just gone down, standing next to you,
Sulveran
and
is
the knight is
looking-
also looking over towards you, like kind of adjusting the grip on its greatsword.
So I need to ask about the. I didn't want to run in your explanation, but the feat that I have.
Yes.
So how do I trigger that?
You could just say it. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna use that.
Yeah. So as Uba is crashing to the ground, Sulveran is just going to look at them and say very lowly, just loud enough for Uba to hear, that is dishonorable. Rise. And he gestures, and Uba can take a death saving throw in exchange for a reaction attack, if that's correct, Andrew.
Yeah. No, I looked at it, but that sounds correct to me.
So do I do that now?
You
or
you
wait?
can take any action, but you don't have like movement or anything else. And yeah, I think you do it now, right?
Yeah. And the way that I think I intended is normally you would do it right when they go down, although this is the first time, so that's fine. We'll ignore the Blood Imp's turn.
Okay,
Well,
so
it's on different parts of the map as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's basically.
how do I roll a
big deal.
death saving throw in Foundry?
I think I have to actually mark one down for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is
'Cause it's
basically a
a-
trade of
It's a guaranteed fail.
yeah.
Oh,
That's fine.
Jesus.
Yeah, for like a full attack. It's like,
Yeah, that
Pretty
gets
good.
much better at level 5.
yes, that's true.
It's because you're not at 0. We'll just remember it for now. And then that you have one failed to going forward.
Is that Sulveran's action?
No, that's his
that
reaction.
just goes off. So Uba, you can take that attack now.
I can take that attack off.
You,
No,
you
so
can make
the
an
attack
attack
still happens,
against
but you
the
can-
knight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah, I
Sulveran
guess.
just shamed you into not dying immediately.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll use my Emerald Dagger then.
My third note for this session is that Sulveran considers dying dishonorable when killed by a demon.
So that plus
You still
I
have
guess-
Bardic Inspiration, in case you think that might not hit.
I
Not
think
that
it'll
I'm saying,
hit.
but I think it'll
I should be fine, but I think I would add 2 because I'm using a one-handed weapon, right? Or is that automatically included?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so that would be 11.
And then do you get to add your Hunter's Mark?
Oh, I
Would
think
I get
that's
to?
2, or
I
that
don't
2 is
think so.
already in there. And the Hunter's Mark,
Oh, okay.
I did write the thing correctly. The Hunter's Mark already rolled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that is a
just
hit.
9.
You stab out, hitting the knight as you do so. They're kind of completely unexpected. They saw you go down. They thought you were out. You get slash at them. Hitting them, although they still look
damage it's taken.
fairly beefy. This is the first time it's taking damage as well. All right, and then now it's Sulveran's turn.
Uber's too efficient. That's the problem. You never get to use Colossal Slayer because you kill things too efficiently.
Yeah, you kill things in one hit.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, and then as Uba collapses after that attack, Sulveran just shakes his head and gestures, and the sensation that Uba feels for healing word is an extremely sharp, stinging sensation, like somebody just splashed antiseptic all over them.
Uba's gonna
Get
yell
it.
really loudly because they didn't like how that felt. So you just hear loud shrieking from this side of the battlefield.
Yeah, and then
You know,
and then he is going to turn, looking down at the these little creatures. This imp. What are the conditions
that
of these
one's
two imps?
dead. Sorry.
Okay, I thought he might be, but I wasn't sure. And then this one is still alive.
That one is full.
Okay. And confirming, I can do a bonus action spell and then a cantrip, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's never usually a problem with the warlock. Does he have half or full cover with this wall between us, the knight?
The knight, technically, I think you're close enough that I wouldn't give them cover
Okay.
in this situation.
Yeah.
And
so-
vice versa.
Got it. So in that case, Silver's going to step slightly. He's looking at this large creature up at the top, and then he's going to look down at Uba, and he's going to shake his head and step in, and he is going to mutter a divine word of radiance. That moonbeam color of radiant light is just going to issue out from him.
Okay.
It's
So-
Constitution saves.
So the 3, is that it?
That would be the damage if they fail their con saves.
I'm just trying to figure out who does this all hit. Just anybody you
It
can
hits-
see?
It hits the people within the 5 feet. So it.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'm assuming he's kind of like pressed up against this wall.
Yeah, so you'll hit those two
Good.
guys.
Yeah.
So success and fail.
The opposite way that you'd expect that to go.
Okay. So
Right?
the imp doesn't take any damage. However, the knight takes 3.
The knight is just so surprised by the fact that Uba didn't immediately die, and then
You're like, ah! Word of
Starts screaming.
radiance.
what the fuck?
Dead. All right. Going back to the top. The Case Knight attacking, squaring off against Paladin is going to pull out their greatsword. Take 2 swings. Paladin's just like batting them aside. He looks down. He's like, weak.
You're doing great.
Then the Spine Devil, which Will hates, is going to go and take a couple attacks against Will.
Oh my god, I actually drew enough attention by doing nothing.
Hitting you twice for 8 and 7, 15 points of damage.
Oh, what a disaster.
see, that's why I wanted to know how high it was, because
Forgot to mark 2 of the imps dead.
Alright, I'll get him.
Okay.
As we go around. That one's dead. Dead. Uba. Uba, it's your turn since you were healing worded. You are on
Okay.
the ground technically, so you would have to spend half your movement to stand up.
Okay, that's fine. I'll spend that half movement. I'm gonna put Hunter's Mark on the, what was it, Chaos Knight?
Chaos
Is that what
Knight.
it was? Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'm gonna use the Emerald Dagger again. Ooh.
Oh shit.
Alright, well,
Ooh,
Wow. Okay.
lots of
Oh, and
things.
then you get 2d8 because of your Colossus Slayer, right?
Yes. Then so
Yeah.
it's
Would it be 2 or 1?
no, it would be 2 because all the damage dice are doubled.
Oh, okay.
No.
So let me roll those.
Plus another 6. Okay.
And-
Those were really bad.
Hooray.
Those were bad rolls too. I don't like. I'll open up for the stream. There was a 2 1s on the d4s and a 1 on the d8. But in total, it's going to be 21 points of damage
Hooray.
to this guy. They're not quite bloodied, but they're looking very injured at this point. So you get up and they're like, ugh, like glancing between the two of you, Sulveran and Uba, back and forth, shifting their stances as Uba goes in, stabbing them right in the gut.
Can
Pulling them
I
out.
use since I have like half of my movement left, is it okay if I just kind of take a step back?
If you take a step back, they'll get an attack on you. You can move around them if you want, as long as you don't move away from them.
Got it. Yeah, maybe I'll just move like right
You could move to
here.
here or there.
Yeah. Just trying to get a little distance by going behind, and then
Makes
that's all I can do.
Right. Dead. Dead.
Oh, we've dealt with most of the blood imps.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're easy to kill. All right. Horn Devil needs to make their con save. Failing this time, they're going to take the full damage here, whatever you roll.
This is the time for the huge moonbeam damage.
Yeah.
All right. Here we hope.
14, yeah, that's pretty good. So it's going to double 28.
So that's a
so
DC
it has a
14.
DC 14 basically on the con save.
All right.
The Horn Devil, by the way, is looking bloodied at this point. Although you, Uba, will remember they were already injured before the fight started a little bit. 18, still succeeding. Still manages to fight through the burning radiance of your moonbeam to continue their chant. The dragon at this point is looking visibly frustrated.
Not hurt, just annoyed.
Pelagon is going to shift around their combatant and take 2 great axe swings. Hitting and then missing, but dealing 11 points of damage. Tying them down, really, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Medea,
I mean,
is
that's
then
a
your
huge.
turn.
Medea's going to make a simple spear attack on the one in front of them. First.
Missing as it
With an 11.
flaps out of the way.
And then they're going to bring down the backside of the spear. Thing.
That hits.
For 14, does that kill it?
Not quite.
No, I won't burn that.
Yeah, it is looking very wounded. Like as you hit it, like, but it is not dead.
And then I regain some temp hit points. And then I'm going to adjust my position slightly, like this.
Okay.
You doing radiant damage with those attacks is super convenient, though.
Actually, no. I'll let it take an attack of opportunity as I move up to my level.
Okay. You take 4 points of damage as you do so. As it like pings out at you as you move away.
Oh, as I have to drop heroism as well.
All right. Heroism fades.
Oh, that means I would have my bonus action still, though.
No, because you use your bonus action to attack.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. And then that's my turn.
Yep. Okay. Will, it is then your turn. I've just been stabbed by a spine.
Can I make an acrobatics check to jump off this wall without taking damage?
Do you have expertise in that?
No.
Yeah, go ahead and make it.
Just have.
Go ahead and make the roll.
I'm going to move to here.
Okay, so you
and then jump down.
Run down slightly, jump down.
If it will. Okay, great.
Was it 7? Okay, so you'll still take
7.
the d6.
Yeah, that's fine.
You land, but just kind of awkwardly, and you kind of slam on your knee a little too hard.
Well, would have preferred you to not roll a 4.
Oh,
guess, but...
wait.
Sorry. What?
Never mind. I was reading a thing.
Yeah, so that... Does it take my movement to fall 10 feet?
No, it just takes 5 feet of movement to
Alright,
move
so
the
I've
square.
moved 20. I'm going to use my action to dash, and I'm just going to... Will just start sprinting towards the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
I'm just going to get a ruler to find where that 40 and leaves me.
Here, I think.
Yeah, she just hightails it towards the stair. She's like,
Everything
I don't
relevant.
care about any of this. This stuff's not relevant. There is an objective, and I have to be objective focused.
All right. Seeing this, the Chaos Knight is going to shout at the Spine Devil something in the demonic tongue.
I knew I should have used Insidious Song to disrupt their speech.
And then they're going to take a swing at Uba. Bringing you back down as they slash you down. 15%.
Once more.
You are at 0. Okay.
Is
You
there?
do-
Is that one
so,
for short rest,
Sorry,
or
I
is
didn't
that?
mean to click on the
Okay.
dagger. That was my bad.
I just want. What's the rest thing on that? I don't think I have it
The
in my
long
character sheet
rest.
still. Got it.
Once per long. Yeah, you can only do that once per long.
That was pretty nice song.
They go down. It's then going to step over slightly and attack Sulveran.
Oh no.
Missing you, unfortunately. Just
Unfortunately.
it's all
that word
tangled
correctly.
up. Can't
You
can't
mean
translate
fortunately.
it.
You mean
Fortunately for
the
you
best
guys,
part.
unfortunately for him. This blood imp, which is still alive, is going to move over to attack Medea. They now have advantage from tactics.
Ah, god damn it.
But they oh, I thought I hit shift. Let me do that again. Oh, I hit caps lock. Oops. Still missing you either way. Unable to ting ting ting
Oh,
pierce through your
they
armor.
take an opportunity attack as they enter my range.
They were already in your range because you weren't more than 10 feet away from them.
No, I'm holding a spear, which is a 5-foot range.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. I thought you had a glaive now.
No, I'm using the spear and shield right now.
Okay.
I'm switching between them.
Got it. That kills them.
Does a 14 hit? Yeah.
Yeah,
And that applies before. Yeah.
No, they're
Yeah, it
super
just gets
dead.
fucking.
I think that's massive damage, technically. By 1 point. So they are
He just
dead,
cuts off
dead.
this thing's head with the spear.
They explode. Much like a
The really
mosquito.
pretty stained glass window evaporation.
Yeah, exactly.
Medea whispers under their breath, 4.
Oops. Sulveran. It is then your turn.
Sulveran is just looking beyond this Chaos Knight, like at Uba, slightly dissatisfied. And he is going to.
What a weird experience.
Satisfied.
He's going to call out to Uba. Stand. And this time he's going to cast Healing Word again.
Yeah, you. Ugh.
Stop dying, you
Uba.
chump.
Yep. Get up, champ.
How dare you have a low HP?
How dare you take 33 points of damage in a turn?
I mean,
Eat shit,
I
buddy,
survived
get
it.
up.
Why can't you?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Back up at 8.
And then he is going to look toward the Chaos Knight, and once more he's going to say, be kind of satisfied that this guy stayed so close to him, and he is going to call on Syl again.
I love how mean you are to Uba.
They succeed, just fighting through the damage. Or
What about the other
the effect?
You can
I'm
hit
taking
the imp as well, right?
Yeah, it hits the imp as well because it's in that square.
Yeah. Forgot about that guy. They fail, so they take 8 points of damage. As they are now bloodied.
What radiance is good.
Right.
It's very. I did not anticipate getting to use it this often.
Chaos Knight attacking Pelagon. They're like shifting back and forth, slowly backing up, trying, as they're both trying to prevent each other from moving away, getting distance.
Didn't the imp take? I didn't mean to hit the crit button, but didn't the imp susceptible to the radiant?
Yeah. That's why it's bloodied and not just hurt.
Okay.
Actually, I think this Chaos Knight is going to. It's going to look at Pelagon, look back at the fight, and hearing the call of its companion, going to teleport back.
This feels good. This feels like this is going to end well.
On a teleport, does it take attack of opportunity or no?
No, it doesn't.
It chooses to take one step away first. It's like
right?
a massive flex on Pelagon. Like, I don't even care about you. Take the one free hit.
These fucking birds.
The teleport's over to here as a bonus action, and it's going to move 30 to here, and rather than chase at you, it's going to cast Ray of Frost at will. Missing terribly. These things cannot cast Ray of Frost to save their life. Just
Get fucked.
Part of the staircase just gets hit with some ice. The Spine Devil then is going to fly over to here. And actually, no. It's going to fly over to here and shoot once at Uba, once at like here.
God damn it, this thing will fucking come for me.
Tailspine at Uba, Tailspine at Sulveran.
Does Sulveran get cover?
No, because it's moved right up there.
Uba lived through that.
Yes, Uba, you take 7 points of damage, so you're back down to 1, but you don't go unconscious. Sulveran, your armor just doesn't manage to get through it. These things cannot hit you to save their life.
Uba is not bitch made.
Uba, it is then your turn. You have a multitude of targets at this point. Either of the Chaos Knights, the Spine Devil, the Imp. What are you gonna do?
I think that because Uba is Uba, they're gonna go after the Chaos Knight that's below them. So they're gonna move here. It still has the Hunter's Mark, so I'm gonna try and attack with the. Or did it go away?
If it matters, Hunter's Mark would drop when you drop. You go unconscious.
Okay, so it doesn't have Hunter Mark anymore.
You could recast that beforehand, but it would take another spell slot.
Yeah, I think I'll cast Hunter's Mark again.
Okay, so back up.
But yeah, let me roll with this dagger here.
Uba just doesn't go down.
Oh my god.
Uba is angry.
Yeah, I rolled another 2d8.
Okay.
I wish literally any one of these attacks was against the thing that we need to kill.
Right, I'm just gonna show the theme. This is a 31 damage right here.
31 damage with a dagger.
Yeah, with a dagger.
Upa is really, really angry.
You like stab them in the back, and for like a normal person, this would be like death dealing dagger to the base of the spine kind of thing. It manages to twist just slightly and is powerful enough that it doesn't die from this, but it is looking incredibly wounded at this point. As it like reaches back to try to grab your hand as you pull the dagger out. Is there anything else you would like to or can do?
I don't think there's anything else that I can do at this
All
point.
right.
I'm good.
Okay.
This blood imp is going to just keep on stabbing at Sulveran. Still
As he does that,
20.
Sulveran is looking over at. This is why he is hit, because he's completely distracted by looking over at Uba to tell them, "Well done."
Yeah, and then you get stabbed in the side. So I do need you to make me a Constitution saving throw against DC 10 to maintain concentration. Oh yeah, crushed. You're fine. Moonbeam still out. Speaking of which, they get to make a throw. Ooh, failing
God damn it, on
utterly.
the wrong
Go
thing.
ahead, roll 2d10.
Right.
We needed that one
Sorry.
on the other Constitution save.
Yeah.
I thought that was 4 for Moonbeam, and it's like, oh my god.
Well, it is 4
Right.
for Moonbeam.
It still is.
Right.
Motherfucker.
Still saved from that.
God damn it. This thing cannot roll bad on this.
No. I mean, it's got a good constitution, but it's also not these DCs aren't super high either.
Yeah.
Pelagon charging forward 5, 10, 30 to here is going to just bring its axe down twice on the Spine Devil. Straight up killing it.
Good job, Pelagon. Way to roll a great damage roll and then a garbage damage roll.
Just
Right.
the first strike just brings it down, and it's like twitching slightly about trying to get back up, and then the second blow just brains it, dealing the last bit of damage necessary to kill it. And he will look at Medea and say, "Go." As it is then your turn.
Medea is going to almost got oop at the ground for a second before like fully unfurling their wings and just flying as hard and fast as they can, and they will take a dash action and move 60 feet all the way up to the creature. And then I will use my bonus action as Medea presents their symbol, and it looks like little runes begin to cover the skin, almost like an infection all over, and I will use Vow of Enmity.
Okay.
Nice.
That's my devil's dead. Kill that kill. On Will, it is now your turn. The field is thinning and turning in your favor, but you get the sense that the dragon, whatever is happening, the dragon doesn't have that much longer. In fact, you hear in the back of your mind the voice that you heard previously saying, "Do it now. Help me."
Oh, okay. All right. Calm down, Dragon. We do it now. So I finally, I think, I'm within 30 feet of one corner
Yes.
of this thing.
You are within 30 feet of it.
So Will has like sprinted to that point and like pulled out her hurdy-gurdy and now is like walking forward, and her footsteps like become really light on the tip of her toes as she like starts to wind the hurdy-gurdy, and she begins to play. Oh, like it probably has some basis in, because Sulveran's been referencing like the moon god and stuff. It has like references in a Sil hymn, but it's like just this irritatingly catchy divine hymn that she's playing, and I'll cast Insidious Song, which I think can only hit it at the moment. So
Yes.
let me click the button and hope that I wrote the spell incorrectly.
Yes, it doesn't hit me. Oh my
I can still like pick
God.
if you have it.
Oh, okay.
Intelligence saving throw.
Yeah, so it's intelligence saving throw. If it fails, it still makes a concentration check, which is nice.
It does fail.
And now, so on a failed save, a creature cannot get the song out of their head. It's like just stuck with this sill hymn in its head. It makes a concentration check right now with disadvantage, and anytime it needs to verbalize anything, it has to make a spell save, an intelligence check against my DC.
Oh, you
I rolled with
disadvantage, right?
advantage, so it's actually a failure. I shifted meant to hit control. So it does fail. Its concentration drops.
It's against
wait.
a 10,
Does it
so
meet the check or does it meet or beat with
it has to.
concentration?
You have to beat with concentration.
Okay.
Yeah, so it needed at least a 15 still, right? It got a 10.
No, so this is just a concentration against the 10. Like,
Yeah.
because it doesn't
Oh, okay, I
make
see
this
what you're saying.
concentration check harder. It just gives you disadvantage on them all. But I'm pretty confident that
So
meeting the concentration save fails.
Yes. No, it's meet or beat, I believe.
It.
It's like any saving
Yeah.
throws.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
This is like it
Yeah,
will have
meet it.
disadvantage on everything.
It also can't
on all of
speak,
it.
and it had previously been chanting, so that will probably do
Yeah.
something.
Well, it can
I'm
try and speak.
Yeah, I could try.
It has to save to speak, which is nice.
That's good.
I'm about to hit it with
buy
potentially
you some
68
time.
of radiant damage next turn.
All right, the Chaos Knight, sandwiched between Uba and Sulveran, is going to look at Uba, frustrated that you haven't just died, and it's going to take an attack on you. Missing.
Oh God,
going to
if
make
this
a
is-
second attack
Oh.
on you. Missing again. Uba, with their 1 HP, managing to just like, with all of your life, it's like you're fighting against a Dark Souls boss and you've got like the sliver left, you're out of flasks, and you're just dodging as fast as you can, as
Poor
hard as you
Uba.
can,
This is a
out
fucking
of these massive
pain.
greatsword swings. Just because it's like taking a chunk out of the stonework that you're standing next to. That's its turn. It is then Sulveran's turn.
Yeah, Sulveran was watching that, and he actually looks over to Uba and catches his gaze and smiles. All right, so Moonbeam is still active on Big Boy. I think he's gonna leave that there. You said he looks bloodied.
Oh yeah, he's super injured, like on his last legs.
Okay. Let's see. What happens if Sulveran's tall? Can he just kind of can he Captain Morgan this wall here to put all three of these in his Word of Radiance range?
Sure, why not?
All right. This time, as he heals Uba, it is not painful. It's soothing. It's kind of like if you were burned and then you just kind of dove yourself into some snow to cool down. That is the sensation
You're
Uba gets.
rewarding them now for.
Are you telling
not
me
dying.
that you hurt Uba on purpose?
I am telling you that there are multiple flavors to that healing word. And
So many new notes.
Sorry, I keep accidentally clicking on the dagger. That's my bad.
No, that's okay.
Sulveran is the most crazy.
and Word of Radiance on
Okay.
these fellers.
Like the death by 1,000 cuts of
the blood
radiant
amp
damage to demons.
fails and dies.
Well,
The last one.
Did the Spine Devil save her?
The Spine Devil did not save. They got a 12.
Okay.
They're
It's
gonna
for
take
some reason
damage.
it's just showing blank on mine.
Oh yeah, it's a 12, a 3, and a 19.
Okay.
So 6. The Spine Devil is looking bloodied. The Chaos Knight is looking very injured, but again, wasn't quite enough to bring it down.
Okay.
Coming back to the top, the other Chaos Knight is going to 30, here. Yeah, these guys aren't super great at running. Yeah, it's gonna Ray of Frost you again.
Oh no.
Just, I don't think I've rolled above a 3 on Ray of Frost with these guys.
These guys fucking
Yeah,
suck.
both of them have been 7 so far.
All right. Spine Devil is going to. It's gonna let Sulveran take an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. Sulveran is definitely going to take an attack of opportunity, lashing out at him, presumably with his mate, his alpenstock. He just like dives forward after him.
That does hit. But it's not enough to kill it. It is then going to shoot once at Dia and once at Will with its tail spines. Disadvantage because long range. That's Medea. That's Will. Will.
I will cutting words the second one
To make that a miss.
You should have come after me earlier. And it misses. I'm not going to roll.
Sure, yeah. It's just a 1. All right, Uba.
Yeah.
Then your turn.
So the Chaos Knight that's next to Sulveran and Uba is still alive, but barely.
Still alive, but barely.
I'm very torn because I would attack the demon, but I think Uba would attack the Chaos Knight. Yeah, I think they're gonna try and hit the Chaos Knight with their dagger again, and they still have Hunter's Mark on them, so hopefully that'll be good. Oh no.
The one
Did that
time
hit?
it's not
Missing.
likely
No,
You have
No.
you have bardic inspiration from
You have Bardic
a
Inspiration.
week ago.
Oh, but you already said it missed. Should I?
You could still
Can I
do it.
still
I
try?
think you knew that it missed even before I said that.
Okay, so let me roll. It's a d6, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's just enough to make that a hit.
Yay!
You can describe its death for me.
Oh, Uba is gonna like stumble over, and because they're so hurt, it's not as epic as their usual kills, but they're just gonna like stumble into its gut almost and kill it that way. But very angrily.
All right.
like
It falls dead. You still have your movement, and it's not threatening you, so.
Yeah, let's see. Let me see how far I can move since Uba is tiny. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so I can move here, and that'll be all that I can do.
Okay. That devil needs to make a Constitution saving throw for Moonbeam. Failing. Go ahead, roll 2d10.
Maybe we didn't need the dragon. Maybe we were the dragon all along.
Well, we just don't want this thing to complete whatever the fucking ritual is. Otherwise, we'd be fucking dick
All right,
if this
Charlie.
dragon turned on.
Go to make the Moonbeam attack roll or damage roll.
All right.
Okay, so it has disadvantage on this. It's gonna beat it. And still, yeah. Just barely hanging on. Barely hanging on. But in order to keep the spell up, it does have to speak. So it's going to now make it's an intelligence saving throw, right, Jack?
No, it's an intelligence check.
Intelligence check. Okay. What's
Yeah,
the
it's
DC?
specifically
15 again?
15. Yeah. My spell's
Oh, it fails.
Idiot.
The spell is broken as the dragon gains control. The dome of magical light fades as it is now free. All right. No, we should stay. I was thinking about just ending the combat there, but we'll stay. Right. I'm going to add this to the thing. I'm just going to give it an initiative of
Plus 18 to initiative checks. Wait, is its dex better than Will's? I bet it is.
probably.
I'd hope
No,
so.
actually, it's only got a 10.
Idiot.
Get fucked.
Stupid helpful
yeah.
dragon.
Is the horned devil looking like? How does this thing look after taking that many moonbeams?
Right. You are all also now owners of this emerald dragon. You can collectively control it.
I
Here's
will
what it does.
look at the emerald dragon while other people are doing their turn stuff.
Right.
Will innately knows how to control people.
So the horned devil still will get their turn. Though it can't speak. It is going to, in fury, stab out at Medea, as they are the only ones staying nearby.
God damn it! I'm gonna get massive
This
damage.
large bident. And then also taking a slash at you with their tail. They'll attack however many. So you do take 15 points of piercing damage as you're just rammed through with this large red hot.
Yeah, but he's just like holding this forking.
All right, Pelagon's just gonna run.
Does the dragon have legendary actions left?
It would, yeah.
Then it should make a tail attack at the end of that turn as a legendary action.
Yeah, I'm considering it having all of its stuff. 18. That hits.
Thing, obviously.
They'll take 15 points of damage as the tail whips out at it.
Like lazily is waking back up and just hits this thing.
All right. It's then Medea's turn, unless you want to tail attack again.
Medea's going to, with 2 attacks at advantage, attempt to swing at this thing.
Okay.
20, and then I'm going to add 3d8. So that's going to be 30 plus. So that the initial one is actually a 16 because they're already doubling. That's 16 plus 30. And then I'm going to make a second one. It's a bonus action. And then I'm going to smite again. For another 14.
Okay. This thing is looking very wounded at this point.
And Medea is just going to yell to the dragon to help bring it down.
It's then Will's turn, or unless you want to have the
it will
dragon.
tail attack, right?
Okay. Yeah, go
ahead.
Does this one look like it's vulnerable to radiant damage to us? Like, does it seem to be reacting?
Which one? The Horn Devil?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
I did
say that
damage
to Moonbeam the whole
from
time.
The Moonbeam. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 14 hit.
14 is a miss, unfortunately. It kind of flaps out of the way of the tail attack. This time we're ready for it.
Alright. Will's turn, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to actually think about how I would do damage to something.
Cutting words, I guess.
Hey, I still have one level 2 spell slot. So I'll just we'll keep walking up because this Chaos Knight. Will knows enough about dragons, I think, to I'll shatter the Horned Devil.
Okay.
I'll split hulls at the Horned Devil. And this time, instead of the a ship like bursting out of the water, it's like breached on its side underneath the Horned Devil, and it just shoots directly up this cacophony of sound.
Okay. The con save, right?
Yes.
Wait,
Man, this would have killed all those
Okay.
fine devils.
it does succeed, but it'll
It
still
takes
take
8.
so 8.
And then the dragon will tail attack with its final legendary action until it resets in 1.
Yeah, that's awesome. You do that thing I always do, where you have to hit the tail, not the tail attack under legendary action.
I did it correctly twice.
I know. I always do that. I always mess it up. Right, that
12
does hit.
points of bludgeoning damage.
However, it's like the Horde Devil's now like leaning on the Bident, looking up, but they're not dead quite yet. However, it is now the Emerald Dragon's turn. I'm guessing you're going to use its breath weapon attack.
I am. I kind of wanted stuff to be dead, so I have to work this out. Hang on. This is going to be. I have a bunch of templates open, right? For some reason. I clicked something. So I guess it moves to here. Can I hit this without hitting Medea and hit the thing behind it? I don't.
You want to hit like these, but not
Yeah.
Medea. I'm not sure. It'll bring up the template when you click on
It
the
will bring up
cone.
a template. No click.
Yeah,
All right.
it should anyways. I think that's possible, but I'm not 100%.
Gonna take some finagling.
Will just makes the executive decision that Medea's gonna get hit.
No, I'm not
You
hitting
would
Medea
kill
for
me.
19.
I think it would
Yeah, I'm
kill
not hitting Medea for
Medea,
18 d6.
possibly
You would kill me with
outright,
magic
depending on what the
damage,
roll is
very
like.
likely. It didn't bring up a template, but I'll use
Okay.
the template thing. And see if I can
Yeah,
get
we
it.
could always.
I've never used this thing, so.
Yeah, you could certainly hit them without hitting the.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, then it does that.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage. It'll just kill everything for sure, but.
Oh, the green
Oh.
dice look real pretty for the
71.
I love
wow.
that.
That was a great roll. Yeah. All right. With its action, it just unleashes a torrent of this lightning, thunder. Just shock waves like roll out. The water explodes in a splash. All of you like cover your ears slightly just from the noise as the Horn Devil is basically practically disintegrated. That's the right half side. Its like arm is gone now. One of its wings just. The Chaos Knight actually would maybe save that.
What's its DC save? DC 19 con now.
35. Yes, it could maybe. I'll make the save.
Great. Will just gets evaporated by this thing after
Nope.
it saves.
The Chaos Knight dies. The Spine Devil dies, clearing the battlefield at this point.
Can I take the bident that the devil was holding?
It's much too large for you to wield effectively.
If we had a Gathite friend.
Yeah.
Things haven't even fallen down, and Medea's just like
But he's in loot mode.
grabbing that still crispy bident.
As
Uber
like,
can respect that.
as like the only sound is like this crackling of electricity and stuff on the field, we should take a break.
Yes.
Because it is
That's a good-
about the
good
perfect time to take a 10-minute break.
Right. We will take a
I'm
break
going
and be
to
right
do an
back.
enormous amount of 10
Hello, everybody. We're back. All right. So you have just defeated these. Yes, in combat. You've just defeated all of this small army of demons and freed the Iracondis, the Emerald, the Shimmering Scholar dragon. The dragon you can see is also, as I mentioned, I think last session, looks to be wounded itself. It's probably it's bloodied at the very least. You can see various kind of stab wounds, a variety of puncture marks on it, presumably from the spine devils and the imps. And it will kind of look over at all of you as you begin to kind of gather up, moving towards it, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But it will look at Will first, who is kind of closest and it had already previously been speaking to. And its voice aloud rings out. Again, it sounds like almost like it reverbs back a little bit unnaturally, as though you were in like a glass box or something like that. So it sounds kind of strange to your ears, and it will say, "Thank you for freeing me."
Will inclines her head and says, "Well, we needed something, and you needed something, but I think perhaps our service pushed a little beyond the information we're looking for." And she looks around at like Medea, who's like got
Half
all those
dead.
like scratch marks and is half dead. Uber, who's like limping up the stairs. Sulveran, who's fine, and like she pulls a spined barb out of her own like abdomen. Just like pulls that out.
Sulveran is actually bloodied as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Will says, but we're glad you're safe. And then she like sinks down and is, like has her feet just in the water with boots on.
It will not. And give me a moment, and we'll kind of start to stalk. Walking into the cave, out of sight slightly, before returning in just a moment and offering up several stoppered potions to all of you. There's actually exactly one for each of you. So these are healing potions that you could use if you wish. Save.
I'm saving it.
Pelagon walks over completely uninjured.
What rarity is that healing potion?
They're just healing potions, normal base ones.
All right. Yeah, I think Will also won't drink it.
Uba drinks theirs like a shot.
Dragon.
It's like,
Uber
okay.
chugs it.
It's going to be 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
Yeah, Sulveran is going to incline his head toward the dragon, but he tucks his away. He's felt worse.
So you heal 8 points, Uba.
Would I know if emerald dragons have anything to do with Alamein? Like if they're children or...
Make an Arcana roll.
Okay. A 16?
They're not like intrinsically tied. Dragons are their own thing. Most dragons don't worship deities out of principle. It's because they're like, oh, why should I worship a god? I'm like already better than most things. So in that sense, no. However, you would know that emerald dragons, being kind of interested in knowledge and that kind of thing, often make contact with followers of Alamein and have working relationships with them. So to say that it's like a fellow worshipper or anything like that, or related to the god at all, would be incorrect. But to say that it is favorable to followers of that god, it would be Europe.
I imagine an emerald dragon is special.
This is all what I'm saying here only applies to emerald dragons.
Okay.
Other dragons would have different feelings about it. Too. Probably most of them would be ambivalent or disdain.
Disdainful of the god of knowledge.
Like, oh god, I'm bad.
Yeah, I have knowledge. Does that make me the god of knowledge?
But the emerald dragon will begin to start to lick at its own wounds, and tend to itself, as it says. Though I thank you for saving me, I am not sure why you are here. Felt you enter my forest. I was in. It glances over at the horned devil. That trance.
So I couldn't remember when I was writing questions to ask the dragon.
Mhm.
Do we have the book, or does Kala have the book and Alveron is with Kala? My memory was that we have the book because we were to show the book because we don't know that much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
My understanding was that you guys don't have the book.
Okay, I'm sure that you are. Remember.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although it
so
would equally have made sense if you had taken it, but I don't think that's what.
Yeah,
the
Kala
ultimate
and
plan was.
Alveron staying behind made more sense in a world where we didn't have the book.
Yes.
Will says, well, on the surface of it, beyond all of our natural curiosity towards magic and the like, we're here because of a book that we need some information about. An evil book full of evil things.
There are too many
Also,
of such things these days.
Probably some help.
It will kind of sit and much like a cat, one hand over the other, laying down. Yeah, kind of craning
Pushing
slightly.
bodies off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, just trying to help them go down the stream a little bit quicker.
Will says, Will says, well, I can give you a bit of a description of the book, but I don't have it with me because, traveling with an evil book, it may have been far worse for us here if they. Anyway, and Will goes through all of the information that I assume Kala gave her
Mhm.
to try and explain what this book is.
I will kind of listen to what you're saying, think about it, and say, yes, I know of such a book. The sage was here not than a year ago asking about such things. I will tell you what I told him. The book is ancient evil, made from followers of Sarael. It details demon summoning rituals, and one such thing that seems to have been attempted on me again, like some more demons off the side of this little waterfall thing. Rituals to make shadow dragons. Although it was my understanding that you could not do such things to adults. However, it looks at itself slightly, maybe a little bit perturbed.
Nods. Well, there's good news. You're alive. Beyond that, though, the book is in relatively good hands with an apprentice of the sage. But also, we have no idea where he is, where he's been, or anything like that for a while. Will gives a fairly anxious smile.
Yeah, the dragon nods slowly and says, I can see it in your eyes. He has been attacked by some forces, as I have been. I suspect that there are a couple places I can think of that they might have taken him, if it is followers of the Dark God, as I would think. Old fortresses, new lairs. As to where he is exactly now, I could spend some time. I might be able to tell you with some magic.
Did you sense the demons arriving in your realm?
I did, although they seemed cloaked, as though their presence was somewhat masked. I thought it had merely been imps, and that the normal defenses out. But these stronger ones slipped past. They killed my Hydra. And then they attacked me.
You sense any more of them in your lair?
Just shakes its head. Yeah. I think
No.
you have killed
I
the bulk of them, at the very least their leader. As it now pushes the Horn Devil away. What's left of him, anyways.
Will chuckles and says, "Well, I am certainly not against the time it would take you to perhaps have a look for our friend the Sage. I don't remember, because it's been a few weeks, whether or not Will and Kala got around to explaining who Kala's master was
Nope.
to the rest of the party.
The rest of the party remains unaware.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Will's not going to use this time to explain that unless somebody asks, because Will's like, surely I told them this. This is like information I've had for a long
Medea
time.
will vocalize out loud. Do you know anything more about them? Who's this sage? We've only been told about a powerful wizard.
Oh, I can answer most of that. You've heard of Tarlis the Sage. He's one of the premier magic users in the land. He writes a lot of books, and Will probably pulls out like a really thin book that Tarlis has written about like seafaring magic or something. And says, I've been carrying this one before I even knew about magic. It's interesting. She like tosses it to Medea.
The dragon nods appreciatively of someone who knows things.
The
Well-
reason Kala probably didn't want to tell us about Tarlis being her master is A, he could have enemies and we could have been enemies of his. But also, it would have immediately maybe made us ask too many questions about Tarlis to people that were not Kala. And it would have put a mark on us.
I don't mean to be rude, but why did you wait until now to tell us this?
I kind of thought you'd all worked it out as well. Because it was...
Sulveran is just
Well,
going
did you
to
work
give...
it out yourself, or did you ask Kala?
No, as soon as Kala was talking about her master, I could work out that it was Tarlis. There's not that many powerful magic users, right? It's like Tarlis. Can I know other powerful magic users?
Yes, you can know other ones.
Milf Indian.
Vesta, you would probably include in that.
Vester Vale, she's a bard. But yeah, it's like only a few at the very top echelon. When I say that Tarlis is a powerful
you would know
magic
of Halfred as well.
Halfred. When I say Tarlis is a powerful magic user, I mean my magic plus Sulveran's magic plus your magic, Medea, and the magic that I'm sure Uber is capable of would pale in comparison to an easy thing for Tarlis to do. Meeple would pale in comparison to Tarlis.
In some ways, their spellcasting exceeds my own. Although, in a one-on-one fight, I, of course, would win. The dragon says.
Of course.
But Tarlis could make most fights not a one-on-one fight.
So, why in God's name is he not handling some of this himself?
I can only assume that they were caught unawares. A wizard is only as good as the time that they have to think.
Will nods. If our good friend here, it's Aracondis, right? If Aracondis here can be waylaid by these demons with all of the tools at its disposal, the most powerful mortal still doesn't have dragon-like abilities, you know? It only takes one
I suppose
moment. It will shrugs.
it may be the isolation that it deals with. No matter how powerful you are on your own, being on your own is a detriment most things can't make up for.
Will sighs and says, anyway, I think if you're all fine with it, and she asks the party, we could perhaps take a respite here for a day or two. We could have the time to potentially talk to the dragon individually about the rewards that I'm sure Aracondis is going to give us for, saving its life from becoming some kind of shadow dragon. A thing that for now nobody even thought possible. Will
as
give
she
the most charming smile.
as she says that, Sulveran is going to walk back over to Pelagon, just grabbing him very casually by the shoulder and just dragging him forward, even though he has to, even for him, he has to reach up a bit to do this to Pelagon.
Could you perhaps cure our friend of madness?
Oh,
It's been
madness.
cursed.
Yes, I believe I could accomplish that, perhaps. And they'll lean in and closely study Pelagon, who's just standing there.
We have done our best to stymie the curse that reaches at the edges of his mind, but it is not perfect.
Yes, I can see this now. Very well. If this is one of your rewards, I can do this. And let me go and retrieve something. And they'll go and they will again walk back into their cave. And return with a what seems to all of you to be a necklace with a crystal chain on it. Very much like a large piece of quartz cut into a what's it called? Like a hexagon but long. Was that tipped? I can't think of the
Hexagonal
word now.
prism.
Yeah, like a hexagonal prism. There you go.
Hexagon, but what?
It's a prism, so it's a hexagonal prism. That's not quite.
Yeah,
I think because it's tips, but you know what I'm talking about. Very carved crystal. Obviously, it's not supernatural looking, and they will hand it out to Pelican and say, "Until then, until I am able to further study, this should prevent the illness from creeping on further, although it will not remove the curse entirely. I sense on you something strong, something that a simple general spell might not remove. Think on this." Pelican will nod and say, "Yes, the elders of my tribe had said something similar, or else I would have gone to a simple cleric. I will wait here until you have done your studies." At which point Iracondis will turn and say, "So, the book, knowledge of the sage, what other things, what other rewards would you ask of me? I have treasures aplenty, knowledge." Glances at Upa.
well-
"I can see that you've already won a prize here in the maze."
Yeah. Well, I think Uba's going to want to ask about that, but they're a little too banged up to really say much, so they just kind of nod and wave the dagger a little bit, yes, this is what I found.
Will says, well, perhaps we know each other quite well, but perhaps it's better if during our stay we have the leisure of talking to you individually instead of, you know, uh, revealing things such as that to others. I know that some of my companions are a little bit more secretive about things. And she remembers and like reaches into her satchel and pulls out Alveron's like still sealed scroll. It says, "One of our companions that's guarding Tarlis's apprentice asked you to answer whatever's in here. Feel free to write something, and I'll take it back."
They
Um,
will, like, within
I
small town, pick it up and start to read it.
I would like to know where Vesta Vale is, if you knew that, or could find that out while you're looking for Tarlis. That would be nice. Um, but otherwise, I
I
like
can do
gold,
that.
or if you can do something to like enchant this, and like she pulls out her hurdy-gurdy, like to do like I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure what's in the capabilities of such a learned and ancient dragon as yourself.
I could enchant such a thing. However, I think a simpler solution will be to give you a better replacement.
I
Ah,
built this myself, and that's slightly hurtful, but all right.
Better
Oh.
in that
Smile.
will be enchanted, and we will not have to wait the weeks it will take to enchant such an item. I will
Will
trade
notice.
you, though,
you
yours
have
to my collection.
Uh, Will smiles and like whips out a little like carving chisel and like signs her full name. I don't think anyone can see it from this distance, but signs her full name, like all four of her title, like her title and her full name,
Okay.
onto like the side of it.
Quite a mouthful.
Says well, yeah, it requires the entire side of a hurdy-gurdy for Will's full thing to show up. But she smiles and like hands it over and says, "It will be an honor to have something in your hoard."
They like wave their wing over it, and it seems to just vanish out of your hand.
Do you happen to have some proper armor or better weapon?
I have things that might suit you. Yes, yes, I can give such things if all you require are items.
I have one question, but perhaps I should ask such things in private.
It will not. And very well. I will return with what you have asked for now. And we'll again. Actually, it will look at Sulveran. Did you not wish anything for yourself?
Sulveran is going to look back at Will, who's surrendered her hurdy-gurdy, and kind of tap his alpenstock. You would replace my weapon rather than enchant it?
Enchanting takes time. It would be easier to give you a suitable replacement for my stock. Though I could enchant something if that is truly your wish.
I will not see this replaced. I seek knowledge, as they do, and he kind of nods over at Medea, and kind of strides up, and then he kind of pauses, kind of seeing that Will is still there, and that they're in earshot.
Will, can I roll to see if Will notices this? Because Will's sometimes
Yeah,
insightful,
make
but I'm
make an insight check, I think.
Yeah, he's kind of hesitating.
Will doesn't notice in this particular instance.
Yeah, they seem nervous, but you get the sense they're about to ask a big question.
Curiosity peaked.
Can you scry the locations of the dead?
I could locate their bodies. If you are asking me to peer beyond the veil and seek the location of their souls, then that's a bit trickier. I won't say that I can't do it, but I won't say that it will be easy. Scrying on a soul is not the same as a scrying spell. It would require sending my consciousness out. It would be more dangerous for myself.
That is unnecessary. I will settle.
Ooh.
I will settle for the body.
I would need a description. The better you could give, the easier it might be. Or if you had some piece of them, something that they owned, a picture.
He is going to look down at his bare ring finger and glance back over at Pelagon. Would something written in their hand do?
It would be helpful.
He's going to once more kind of glance at Will and Medea, and he's kind of like rolling out his shoulders a little. But he pulls out a set of notes and stalks up to the dragon to pass it over.
Okay. It will like take a look at it, and as it's looking at this, it will gesture to all of you to back up a little bit from the water, and it will finish flinging out whatever imps are left. As I just knock over. It was empty,
I think
but...
Will. Okay, that's good. I think Will, kind of happy to have like finished setting up that they'll be here for a couple of days and like can go back and ask the dragon stuff. We'll look at Uber, walk over to Uber and kind of softly say, "Do you not have a question to ask of the dragon?"
Uba's gonna kind of think about it for a moment, but then say, at this point, I think I want to think on it some more. Maybe after a rest and some more healing, I can ask my questions.
Will smiles at Uber, like the proper smile, probably for the first time in like a week or something. Says, "Well, how about you come and help me set up the camp, and the others can do as they wish?"
Uba nods and will be ready to limp off with you when you're ready to go.
Do you want me to look at the dagger while we go downstairs?
Uba nods and hands over the emerald dagger to you.
Alright. Will heads down to the bottom, like starts rolling the parts of the demons over, and we'll set up camp. But I'll look at the dagger as well. But I can make a roll for that after everybody else is finished.
Can I ask the dragon one more thing?
Sure. I mean,
I asked
they're
one
getting ready
thing.
to start doing the scrying, but yeah, they're still...
I asked one thing. Do you have some alcohol I could use to celebrate the jubilation with my friends of this victory?
Thanks for a moment. Spirits do not do much to my person. I think I have something of that nature. And it will wave its wings out in a flap, and then summon up a bottle, a large bottle. It
Medea
appears
will
to
take
have some brown whiskey-like liquid in it.
Medea will look to Pelagon and Sulveran and Sara. To me, it seems we have some sort of birth to celebrate, as a new life begins. And Medea will take the bottle and look to Pelagon.
He'll nod at you and say, perhaps.
And he'll invite Pelagon and Sulveran to drink the bottle in thirds together and waste the night away singing
All right,
songs.
Yeah. You each have a third of whiskey. Third bottle.
Sulveran is going to like as he's like hefting his share. I'm assuming he's gonna like take that bottle last, and he's going to take a hefty swig, and then he's going to just as he corks the bottle, he's gonna tilt his head down towards the others, and say, "I'll spare the rest for them."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so you all kind of make camp. Or sorry, go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, Will is very much directing Uber to set up camp for everybody, but Will is not doing anything.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, I got the
still
impression.
injured.
well, but Will's not good at it. Like, I'll help you do it, but like by directing you.
Um, does Sulveran have an impression of like if this dragon is starting the scrying now or later?
It seems like they're going to at least do some of it now. They've cleared the pool, and they seem to be kind of concentrating. Although it doesn't seem to be a quick thing to scry.
All right. Yeah, Sulveran is a little distracted, and he's watching this, and he just doesn't seem to notice as the others head down to start making camp. He's just standing here, staring into the water.
Okay. Yeah, after about 10 minutes, you will see the water, almost like a reflection, an image appear on it on this large top pool. The image of what appears to be the remains of a Gathite, armored, sitting seemingly alone, wind flapping something in the background. You can see, seems like some snow around it. The dragon kind of like is looking, focusing, kind of thinking. But you can see them, and you recognize this figure. You know that they were once your friend. You can tell by their armor and arms.
So Sulveran will stand there watching the figure as long as the image remains, and also probably even after it peters out, he's just standing quite close to the dragon with his usual disdain for personal space.
The dragon will turn to look at you and say, "Was this a friend of yours, someone that you knew?"
Sulveran just nods. I wasn't able to find the body. Thank you.
They are at peace now. You wish to find the remains and use them for some purpose, rebury them, take them, put them in the peaceful death. You will find them at the base of the mountains, where yes, you can find them at the base of the mountains, where the rivers that flow into the lands of the Romnian Empire. Not far from the city of Galmador, the dwarves call home.
On the main map, would you mind pinging that on the main map?
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Or just even in like in a range of where he would have looked and where he would have expected to find these. Are they close or further out than he would have ranged himself?
It's further out than where you would have ranged yourself, although your friend, possibly not. They were, fairly adventurous themselves, although they never left the tribe. Map always takes a lot longer to load for you guys. It's not in your traditional homelands either. It's a bit more to the south of the peaks that you frequent. Your tribe is fairly central to the mountains. This is a little bit more south than that. So it's like a little bit of a strange area to be looking for the remains, although, that's always the kind of like that's probably why you haven't found them beforehand. You know, not a place that you would expect necessarily to look.
Got it. Yeah, then the map loading is unnecessary because I think it's going to be forever on my end. Yeah, so Sulveran is going to look at the image one last time, or look at the remains in the pool, and he is going to deeply nod at the dragon. Did the notes get cast into the water as part of the scrying spell, or were they held onto?
For the stream, I will just. No, the notes were not. It wasn't necessary for him to discard the notes.
All right.
In order to do that, so they will hand them back to you.
Yeah, so he'll collect those, and with a final thanks, he heads down to the stairwell.
Oh, yeah. And for the stream, it's somewhere suggestion, according to the dragon, somewhere in this kind of. Yeah.
I think Will is saying to Uber and Medea and Pelagon, if they're down there by now. I really wasn't trying to be like duplicitous about Torless. It's just in my brain, it's the equivalent of someone not knowing who the Emperor of Rams is. It's just the Emperor of Rams. They're like,
Some of us did not grow up around Roms.
I understand, and I will try and do better with my knowledge in the future.
I appreciate it. In the meantime, I hope this rest is long. I hope at least we can buy Pelagon more time.
The as you guys will get a long rest in at this point. As you drink, the dragon is still busy doing their various things. All of these spells take quite, some time to cast. Trying some 10 minutes alone, just for one instance.
Do we have a Song of Rest?
Yeah.
Do we level up this long rest?
Yes, you will level up after this fight. Although we can handle that between sessions, because there's not going to be another combat.
You think?
I
We
don't
fight the
think,
dragon.
yeah, you just turn on the dragon. That'll be a quick fight.
You just promised that there would be no.
What a roll. Song of Rest.
I mean, if you choose to attack a dragon, that's on you.
How much do you get from Song of Rest? 1d6 on the first hit die?
Yeah. Oh my god. Alright, I've added 9.
Oh, I'm back up to full.
No, I need to update Uba's picture. I forgot about that.
Ooh.
And he said it's a D6 for Song of Rest.
Yeah, it's a D6 as long as you use a hit dice, you get a D6 back.
Me 5 is very relevant for it.
It's relevant for like the out of combat stuff that we're gonna do.
Yes, actually.
Alright. Mine probably is as well. But
you said we get to re-roll ones after?
Yes, you do get to reroll. You did roll. 8. Much better.
Much better.
Perfectly average.
And you still have aid, which is not concentration, and it's an 8-hour thing. So, well, we just long rested. Never mind. I'm a
Aid
fool.
will end at the end of the long.
So I'm going
and
to...
we get back half our hit dice, right?
Yes,
For long rest.
half your hit dice per long.
hate how it reps every spell at the when I populate it.
That's annoying.
Yeah, it's because you're a paladin, so you are capable of casting all those spells if you choose to prepare them.
As in the morning, Medea will search out in the forest and come back riding an elk.
What do you do with the horse?
Yeah.
Medea is like, well, now we have 2 things to ride home.
Was extremely unhappy about this.
You cast Find Steed.
Done this properly.
Yes. And in the morning, I would also like to gift Pelagon something.
Okay. Pelagon is, they are not very hungover because, a large amount of whiskey to Medea is not very much to Pelagon. Even a large amount of whiskey to Sulveran is not very much to Pelagon.
Medea will
I will.
take Pelagon into the tent and in private take off their helmet and gift it to Pelagon and say, when you leave this place, I too have needed cover from the world. Perhaps hiding your face will help in the challenges to come. And they'll put on their mask.
Right? Pelagon's going to look at it. Maybe try it on. It's maybe a tiny bit small, but every size. Look at it again and say, why do you hide your face? Out of shame?
Not out of shame, but sometimes it is good to take on a new face when we want to become a new person, or when we want to change. Not forever. There are times when either you feel guilt or frustration. It's easier to have something to hide behind. It is easier to be brave.
I will take this gift that you have given me. So I think it is best to face the world open-faced. But for your sake, to honor you, I will wear this. And put it on. But I think he'll keep the face covering up most of the time.
Medea will take a deep bow. I hope you find it some help in your travels. And I also leave you with my horse to ride out of this place.
Thank you for these gifts. And he'll go to stroke the horse's mane. Start familiarizing himself with it. I don't know how to ride a horse.
I will teach you as we exit the forest.
He nods. I think I will be here.
Do you know how to ride a horse that well?
I think I will be here for some time longer than you, but I'm sure that I can learn. The dragon will help me. Do you know how to horse? And as this is all happening, as you're all getting up, the dragon will come. They spent most of the night in their cave away from our res. As they come back out, they take the form of a humanoid woman, more human than anything else, but they have flecked, shining scales that kind of run up their arms and along their neck and face. Their hair is a deep green color and almost like straws of crystal. It seems to catch the light in very odd ways and bounce back and forth. And they're wearing very long, shimmering green robes that obscure the majority of their body. And their face is a kind of like a soft, almost golden brown color, with bright green eyes, just absolutely popping out of their face. And as they come out to you and say, I know that dragon form can be quite imposing to visitors. Normally when humanoids such as yourself approach me, I wear this visage. I have looked into the pool and found answers to your questions. As to the sage, I believe that they are being held underneath the mountains in one of the ancient fortresses of Saliel. I think that he might be in the Citadel Harkontor. Anybody who would like to can make me a history check.
I would like to, although I seem to have got stuck because I keep failing to click the right thing to import a spell.
God damn it. One day I'll get
always
it.
rolls super high on these checks despite only having a +1.
Are these
Did you
these
say history?
mountains that Sulveran is from?
Yeah, history check. What was that?
Is this the mountain range that Sulveran is from, or is it a different mountain
Yes,
range?
it's the mountain range that Sulveran is from, although they are talking about beneath the mountains.
I actually don't believe that underground exists, and therefore do not.
Yeah,
care
this
about
is.
it.
I mean, this is like ancient history, not really. Will's a little bit more focused on the here and now. Okay, Medea, you've maybe heard the name before as like a dwarven hold that was lost a long time ago. The details escape your mind.
Mhm.
Uba and Sulveran, you both know a little bit more. You've maybe heard a little bit more stories because you're from the area closer to it. You've heard it whispered very rarely as a forgotten place, a place where captured dwarves were. Well, the after the hold was captured, the dwarves there were taken and they were turned and they fought with Saliel during the Blight. And you've heard dwarves and other people curse this name. They curse Citadel Harkantor. It's a place of ruin. But you know. After sharing this information, the dragon will pause for a moment. As for Vestavale,
Will pokes up.
their path is cloudy to me, which is interesting in itself. Scrying spells can be protected against. I can see them, but it is as though through a mist. I believe that Vesta is walking paths between, going to places that exist somewhat in the material plane, somewhat outside. They seem to be searching for something, but I could not speak to them. I tried a sending spell as well, and they could not answer. Torless as well seems to have been blocked from communication. I attempted to speak with him, to no avail. Could only scry upon his person. He seemed alive, but in poor condition. His spellbook was nowhere to be seen. His armor stripped, his sword gone. Otanavio nowhere to be seen.
Will
I think if you are looking for Vesta, you might want to. Well, Torless might be able to help more, but there are others. Milthindian, you named, Intel Amphagon, Halfred, and Roms. They might be able to give you more answers. You could, of course, go to Vesta's master. They might be able to help you.
Is there a thing among bards that the master of my master is like my friend? Is that how that works?
Bards are a fickle lot, so it's possible. Vesta has not always been on the greatest terms.
Yes, knowing Vesta, it's about
Their
50-50 whether or not you like her.
They have an interesting relationship.
I'll keep that in mind, I suppose. Will attempts to put a brave face on the fact that she got nothing from like trying to find Vesta in this moment, but like she is sad.
I know that Ursa, their teacher, lives now mostly in Talonfagon. Mostly. They are
May I-
old. They
May
don't
I
travel
ask
very
one
well.
last question?
Yes. Knowledge is a reward easily given.
Do you know, if anything, of what happened to a small town in the north of Threat, Kozan?
They think for a moment. And they say, I've heard the name before. An inconspicuous town. It vanished some years ago. You are from there. They say it kind of as a question, but more as a statement.
They stand there almost like completely, head to shoulders, like they almost stiffen up and just like silently nod. I am.
Hmm.
Would you happen to have any knowledge of what happened to such a place?
See that this weighs on you heavily.
I'll just take a small nod.
I have an inkling of what may have transpired. I think that your path should you stay the course with your friends, your companions, may lead you to a satisfying answer. I would begin, if I were you, to seek out the waters, travel the ocean some. What happened to that village, I cannot fully see. I'm not purview to all information.
They will take like a deep bow. I will take your advice and heed it as best I can. Thank you.
May not. And be careful that your journey, your quest, you do not lose yourself in it. I can see now that your mind is, well, he looks at like everybody else in the room. You have some thinking to do. If you have further questions, and you are ever in a position to message me, you may do so. Though I do not have answers to everything.
You have the equipment we asked for. Don't mean to ask so rudely, but it does take some time to get acquainted with new gear.
I laugh. They'll flick their hand as in a pile, several things will appear. They will point out to you, here is your instrument. Though it may seem now a simple flute, if you pick it up, and you see just as like a very simple wooden flute, like just straight carved wood, no flourishes at all.
All right. Yeah, Will picks it up.
Okay. It seems to, in your hands, transform into a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, fancy.
Very similar to the one that you had beforehand. And they'll say, this is an instrument of power. You can shift it yourself. It will conform to the instrument that the user's mind's eye pictures, or default to whatever you are most comfortable with.
Will's eyes just like that. Will has like 3 forms of happiness, and nobody's ever seen this form before because this is like the day that Will got proposed to, like a time in when she was like 26 that something happened, and then this moment where she just realizes the implication of it, and she just like spins the hurdy-gurdy in her hand, and as it like is rotating on the palm, it becomes like an enormous Gathite shield, and she just starts like she draws like a knife and she just draws the knife across the outside and uses it as like a singing bowl for a moment to like just play a different song, and then she like snaps it back to maybe a fiddle, which is easier to carry than a hurdy-gurdy, and she like smiles and says, "This is more than I could possibly have asked for. Just this alone. Though admittedly, the knowledge about Vesta is somewhat lacking, so maybe this makes sense."
If you
Jeez, my
are to attune to it, it will also enhance your own bardic abilities.
Bard abilities.
She nods. The ability to do everything, that ability that I have.
Ability.
When she turns that into the singing bowl, Sulveran flinches and actually does turn away, kind of stepping out of range a little bit. But he's still listening to the sound of it.
A moment later,
Will.
as Will's enjoying their gift, looking it over, they'll turn to Medea and flourish up a a nice long spear for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will pick it up.
The shaft is a red wood. Tied around the center is a seems to be a bit of blue silk that kind of trails and flaps whenever the wind catches it. The head, you can tell, is worked mithril, and it's got kind of scrawling patterns on the metal, seemingly part of the forging process, as opposed to being like etched in afterwards. The spear is very old. It was used long ago by dwarves, actually, to fight underneath the mountains. Walled formations. It knows well the taste of demon's blood. It will aid you in combat, but particularly against such foes.
Medea will take a bow. I will enjoy introducing it to the blood of a few more.
They'll nod. Oh, I totally forgot. Will, why don't you do the Arcana check for Uba's dagger? If you wanted to check that out.
So Uba does have a request once Will does that.
Okay. This will have happened during the night.
Yeah, so this is before. Basically, this is 2 less than it will be because it's before the level up.
Yeah. So 10. Okay.
10.
It's definitely
It's
an
a dagger.
enchanted dagger of some kind, but you're not sure what the enchantment might do.
Probably some kind of divine thing. I don't understand it. It's the Uber.
Okay, so if that's the case, so Uba will still have a request, but first they're going to ask about the dagger, and they, even though Uba's not the sharpest tool in the shed, they definitely put together Emerald Dragon and Emerald Dagger, so they're going to just kind of like hold the dagger up and be like, excuse me, what does this do?
Well, you hit people with it and they bleed. No. This is a dagger of my own creation. It has a bit of my own person in it. Could one retrieve it from the well and try to attack me with it, it would fail. And they'll like go to like just draw the if they'll actually hold their hand out to like be like, may I take the dagger?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll like draw it against their hand, and you'll see it like does nothing. It's like it's like it were a blunt instrument. It does not seem to well try to attack me. As though it were like incapable of doing them any harm. They'll hand it back to you. But for against other enemies, my soul will aid you in battle should you attune to it.
Uba kind of nods sagely, even though that doesn't make sense to them.
He's like, oh,
And
okay, sure. Makes sense.
they ask, if I were to become attuned to it, how would I do that?
You would spend a night, some time, focusing on it, letting yourself become bonded to the magic of this item.
Uba hides their disappointment at the fact that they have to meditate to get the dagger to work, and thanks the dragon for their wisdom.
They nod.
And then Uba does have a request, but they're a little embarrassed, so they're going to ask the dragon in Draconic.
Okay.
But I'll just say it out loud. So I don't know if anyone would want to roll for this, but Uba's actually not doing so well after almost dying twice. They're kind of freaked out because that was definitely the closest that they ever got. And Uba hasn't. Yeah, Uba doesn't really have a tragic background either, so this is kind of their first brush with death that directly affects them. So in Draconic, they're going to ask the dragon if they have any jewels or gemstones or anything like that that can provide protection or healing.
Poor Uba.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone actually would be able to pick up on that, but Uba's.
I'm gonna roll insight because
Okay.
Between the yelling and the dying, Uba now has an anxiety disorder.
yeah,
poor
Sulveran's
Uba.
broken Uba.
Just every time Sulveran uses that ability, Uba has to roll a wisdom save to not have a panic attack.
Oh god.
Poor Uba.
Yeah.
I don't think
we'll
it's.
notice this with one
I don't think it's that difficult. I don't know how much. Uba, make a deception check as opposed.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a great way to do it. This is going to be a critical.
Try to hide your. No, yeah. Will, you can tell they seem to be. You're not sure if it's the dragon or just this whole situation, everything that's been happening. But Uba is off balance mentally.
For the
speaking.
first time, the bravado is false bravado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's failed.
What is this layer below the pride?
The dragon will say to you in Draconic, Akin, you are amongst the strongest of your companions. Defenses, though, I think you are perhaps lacking in such things. You should not fear. You should not fear an end, but perhaps not seek it out either. And they'll summon up a what seems to you to be a talon, a large talon from some draconic creature. They'll say, this talon has protective magics on it. I'll hand it out to you. Should you attune to it, it will protect you both from the slings and flashes of arrows and swords and fire, lightning, mind effects of magic.
So Uba will kind of gently take the talon and kind of inspect it, and then far more genuinely than they did with the dagger, they'll say thank you and kind of put it on their necklace around their neck, just
Sure.
kind of tie it on. Also in Draconic, and then they'll kind of step back.
Right.
While that is happening, even though Will notices the Uber thing, Will kind of stretches into her mind for a second and tugs at the thread of a new spell that she just realized she had the power to cast, and will send Ascending to Kala, which I will message you.
Okay.
But it there's a moment where Will's eyes, which are normally brown, who knows? I've never thought of what colors Will's eyes are, but they're normally brown. They go like a perfect version of the sea, where the iris is like also just like the tip of the wave and stuff before it crashes. And then it's just in an instant, water transports this message to color. We'll send it to you. It's not relevant to get a thing back immediately. It's just like updating color on what is happening.
They will reply to your message, but okay. I think we'll probably actually end there, and then we can do the
in that
response.
case, I'd like to talk to Uber before.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
the end. I think a little bit later, Will like comes and I don't know, sits near Uber while Uber's attuning to the dagger, maybe.
Right, Uba's probably struggling significantly with this because it involves them sitting still and thinking for a while. So Uba's trying to look very intense, like they're meditating, but not a lot is actually happening.
Will, I think, smiled and says, I'm not sure if this is how it normally works, but you don't need to be quite so focused. But if that's what gets you to the understanding of the weapon, she shrugs. She says, I know that since we left the city, I haven't been, the normal version of me I was before. But I will always be there to watch over you.
Uba, comes out of their meditative state and opens one eye and looks at Will, and actually sits and thinks for a moment, and says, "To be fair, you have protected me from the beginning."
Will nods and says, and you're not dead yet. And you won't be dead until I'm not around for that, maybe. Who knows? I can't say what'll happen after I die.
Uba does
what is the lifespan of a kobold?
Uba gives...
comparable to a human.
Yeah.
A little bit lower, but yeah.
Uba gives a chuckle that's half, okay, that was actually funny, and half also nervous chuckle.
Will nods in understanding and says, do you want to hear a song? I haven't been able to play this one before.
Uba sheaths the dagger and says, yes, I'm curious to hear this new instrument you've received.
So this is not a Gathite cymbal song because it kind of really works with other stuff. It's a base level percussion thing. But she clicks her fingers and it becomes a fiddle, and she plays a song that she knew in her childhood, but is playing purely from memory from her childhood. That was called in her town "Stand Atop the Dragon's Hoard," and it's got all of these little couplets about the way that you can accrue money till you stand atop a hoard that's as big as a dragon, and it's what they used to sing after a good harvest.
Uba is not the most rhythmic of people, but is attempting to clap along to your song.
We'll see how the performance roll goes, because I think this probably warrants one, because it's but I have an idea. 22. I think Will changes the song to Uber's rhythm. Because for Will, this is a moment where Will is accepting who Uber is, and wants the connection to be obvious. So but yeah, then we'll just continue to play a bit and hopefully ease your attuning to the weapon. Also, Will is attuning to the instrument while playing it.
Yes, and before we go, I'll see what stuff does. So the instrument of power does require attunement. It has two things. The first one I have named Powerful Song. Playing this instrument, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls and to the saving throw DCs of your bard spells. +1 bonus.
Neat.
And the second is Inspiring Sounds. If you want to, you can use Bardic Inspiration as an action instead of a bonus action to give out 2 instances of inspiration at the cost of 1 point of Bardic Inspiration.
God, I'm never doing any damage. There will never be any damage done by Will ever again.
That's that's really good.
That's great.
Are these rare
That
tier,
fits-
Andrew?
Yes.
That fits Will so well. Like,
Yeah.
I'll put it in my inventory and stuff when we're off the stream. But thank you. That is great.
Mhm.
Quick question: how
Yes.
long are we staying in this lair?
That's up to you guys. It will become more evident at the top of next session.
Okay.
Depending on because of Kala's return reply and stuff like that.
Makes
Okay.
sense. Before that ends, I'm gonna say that Uba starts to think more about both the talon and the dagger in terms of protection and less of attacking, and is starting to become attuned with both of them.
The necklace, the talon necklace, is a necklace of protection, so it gives you a +1 to your AC and to your saving throws. So all of them. And we'll fix your sheet for that stuff in between sessions. But it basically just protects you against everything a little bit better.
Okay, cool.
The dagger at the moment is a +1 dagger. It has other effects, which you may be able to activate over time, which I will message you about.
Okay.
Oh, I totally skipped over Sulveran's item. I totally forgot about it.
Well, to be fair, Sulveran is still kind of, probably sitting at the pool, and hasn't noticed that items have been being given out. The only time he started to look up was when Will started to play again, and I think at that point he wandered over.
Okay. Seeing that you were so attached to your alpenstock and not having enough time to enchant it, they instead present you with a shield that is stylized with a symbol of Mordain. And they will tell you, this belonged long ago to a cleric that I once knew who followed the same god as you do. Hopefully it will serve you better than they. It is a +1 shield that has some other minor effects, which I will also message you about.
Yeah, so Sulveran is going to kind of taken aback. I don't even think he was processing whenever this whole thing was happening, that there was a whole pile of stuff, and he looks down at the shield, and then he looks down back at the not quite dragon and the pool. This is more a boon than I expected. And he's going to set his shield down to test it, like on his arm, and nod. Thank you. He's running his fingers over the symbol of Mordain as he goes to sit next to. I think he goes and he sits down next to Uba to listen to the song.
The spear that Medea is attuning to, it is a Demon's Bane spear. So it's a +1 spear normally. Against demons, it becomes a +2 spear that does an extra d6 points of damage. The weapon's damage.
Okay.
It also has a couple minor additional things that I'll message you.
Okay.
All right. As you're all looking over, tuning to this thing, to your various things, Will is communicating with Kala, and we will pick up with their return message at the start of next session.
Cool.
All right. Cool. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. I thought the combat was fun, and then I like giving out magic items. I like seeing the players' faces. I'm like, oh, cool. So I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Always a special moment, especially when you find out like there are certain things that you'll find out later. Like,
yeah, I always like doing that. Yeah, I'll tell you about this minor thing. I like to tell like the bigger things, usually to everybody, but then it's like, oh well, everybody can see this later on as well, and they'll be like additional, be like, oh, that's cool, type things.
Yeah.
All right, though. Let's go ahead and sign off. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Everybody watching, I saw some little Ren and Sammy in chat for a little bit. Of course, this will go up on YouTube shortly. And next week we get Sean back, which will be interesting. I'm gonna try to schedule a one-on-one with him, to see what's happening with his character, which is part of why I wanted to wait to do this ending so I could know what exactly to say to you. Although I think I have an idea of how that's gonna go. Yes. So as always, hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next time.